An era has officially come to an end in Cleveland, and the ripple effects are already shaking up the entire offensive line. After over a decade of elite protection, a legendary veteran has decided to hang up his cleats, leaving a massive void that the organization is scrambling to fill. This departure isn't just a farewell, it's a total reset that changes everything for the upcoming season. Who is ready to step up and claim these starting spots? Before we break down the candidates fighting for their lives to fill this gap, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. The retirement of legendary guard Joel Bitonio after 12 seasons in the NFL marks the end of a significant era for the Browns. His departure was not entirely unexpected, as Cleveland took proactive steps during this offseason to prepare for the transition and fill the massive void left by such a long-tenured veteran. With the team now officially entering a new chapter, the organization has already moved to secure talent through free agency and the draft to maintain continuity along the offensive line. The primary focus of this transition is Zion Johnson, who signed a 3-year contract worth $49.5 million. As the designated successor at left guard, Johnson brings experience from his previous 4 seasons with the Los Angeles Chargers. While Pro Football Focus ranked him 52nd out of 81 guards last season, the team is investing in his potential at only 26 years old. This move provides Johnson with the stability of a dedicated position as he transitions into a key role within the offense. The coaching staff is banking on his ability to anchor the interior, and the upcoming season will serve as a critical evaluation period to determine the long-term success of this significant financial commitment. The Dawg Pound. Faithful will be watching closely to see how quickly this new unit develops chemistry, especially with a veteran presence like Bitonio no longer lining up in the trenches. This shift represents a complete overhaul of the interior blocking scheme, forcing the team to rely on new faces to uphold the physical standards expected in Cleveland. With the position battle officially underway, the focus shifts to how the remaining roster spots will be finalized during camp as the team navigates life without their longtime offensive leader. The absence of Joel Bitonio creates a ripple effect across the entire offensive line, specifically opening up the right guard position, which was previously a secondary concern. Tevin Jenkins, who might have been relegated to a backup role had Bitonio remained on the roster, is now a primary candidate to claim the starting spot at right guard. The uncertainty of this position is a point of intrigue, especially when considering that the team recently signed free agent Elgton Jenkins to take over at center. With the right guard spot now wide open, Tevin Jenkins has a prime opportunity to secure his place as a starter. Originally drafted by the Chicago Bears in the 2nd round of the 2021 NFL Draft, he possesses the collegiate pedigree and raw talent that the front office clearly values. Why does this matter right now for the team? It matters because the interior offensive line is currently in a state of flux, and identifying the right combination of starters is essential for protecting the quarterback and establishing a reliable run game early in the 2026 season. The transition from a long-term veteran anchor like Bitonio to a group featuring newer acquisitions means that the synergy between Elgton Jenkins at center and the right guard spot is paramount. If Tevin Jenkins can capitalize on this opening, he could cement himself as a foundational piece of the interior line for years to come. The team is currently in an experimental phase, rotating personnel to see which configuration provides the most stability. Every practice rep in the coming weeks will determine who earns the starting nod. The loss of such a significant contributor like Bitonio makes the performance of replacements like Jenkins vital to ensuring that the offensive production does not suffer during this pivotal transition period for the roster. Beyond the veteran signings, the draft strategy has become a central part of filling the void left by Joel Bitonio, bringing players like Parker Brailsford into the immediate spotlight. Selected in the 5th round out of Alabama, Brailsford was initially viewed as a depth piece with a lower probability of seeing significant snaps during his rookie year. However, the current landscape of the offensive line has changed the calculus for his development. There is now a realistic scenario where Brailsford could be included in the plans for Week 1, potentially lining up alongside Zion Johnson and Elgton Jenkins to form a reconstructed interior. This development illustrates just how much the roster priorities have shifted following the retirement announcement. Without the veteran presence of Bitonio to hold down the left side, the door has cracked open for younger, less experienced linemen to compete for starting roles much earlier than anticipated. Brailsford has the technical training from his time at Alabama, And if he demonstrates competence during camp, the coaching staff may decide that his integration into the starting lineup is the most effective way to address the team's new needs. The fact that a fifth-round pick is suddenly being discussed as a potential early starter highlights the urgency that the franchise feels to stabilize the middle of the line. While expectations for fifth-rounders are typically tempered, the reality of the 2026 roster dictates that the team must be willing to put youth on the field if the performance meets the necessary threshold. If Brailsford is indeed in the mix for the opener, it shows that the organization is fully committed to this new era of blockers, prioritizing potential and immediate impact over relying solely on veteran continuity, which is no longer an option. While some players are seeing their roles expand due to the departure of Joel Bitonio, the situation for Zach Zinter is different, as he now finds himself facing a critical test for his future with the franchise. Selected in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, Zinter has struggled to find his footing, recording only 199 snaps on the offensive line across 2 seasons. Before Bitonio's retirement, Zinter was widely considered to be at risk of being cut during the training camp process. Now the landscape has shifted to provide him with a lifeline. The vacancy created by the retirement of a 12-year veteran means there is an open roster spot and a genuine need for depth, giving Zinter a renewed chance to prove that he belongs in the long-term plans. The internal pressure on Zinter is immense, as he must perform at an elite level during training camp to secure his spot on the team. He carries the weight of being a high draft pick from 2 years ago, which is an advantage that many other fringe players do not possess. The organization has invested significant capital in his development, and the current state of the interior offensive line necessitates that he finally produces on the field. If he fails to capitalize on this opportunity, his tenure with the team could be coming to an end. Zinter is fighting for his professional life, knowing that the departure of Bitonio has created a competitive vacuum that he is expected to fill. His ability to adapt to the new coaching requirements and demonstrate the physical traits that made him a draft pick will be the deciding factor in whether he remains a part of the active roster or is moved aside in favor of other prospects vying for the remaining open spots. The shift in personnel following Joel Bitonio's retirement serves as a definitive turning point for the offensive line, fundamentally changing the expectations for the 2026 season. With the core interior now being comprised of a mix of high-priced free agents like Zion Johnson and Elgton Jenkins, alongside developmental draft picks like Parker Brailsford and Zach Zinter, the unit is entirely different from the one that played in 2025. This transition is not just about replacing one player. It is about reorganizing the entire blocking hierarchy. Zion Johnson faces the highest stakes, as his 3-year deal signifies that the team views him as the anchor to replace the leadership of a veteran like Bitonio. Meanwhile, the battle for the right guard spot between Tevin Jenkins and the various other roster hopefuls underscores the lack of certainty currently present in the team's depth chart. The reliance on players like Brailsford to potentially step into starting roles so early in his career demonstrates that the team is willing to accelerate the development timeline to compensate for the sudden loss of experience. As the team moves forward, the success of this reconstructed unit will depend on how quickly these individuals can gel and execute the blocking scheme. The absence of a long-standing captain like Bitonio requires these new players to establish their own presence in the huddle and along the line of scrimmage. The organization has taken clear steps to fill the gaps, but the ultimate result will only be known once the pads come on and the regular season begins. For now, every player mentioned remains under intense scrutiny as they prepare to prove that the front office was correct in their strategy to rebuild this critical position group immediately following the departure of a franchise legend.